Hello everyone. So this is part 2 of how I bought a rental property with credit cards and on a tax sale lien. So once we got in and everything, we saw that it truly needed a lot of work. So I just started calling on contractors. I called one contractor, and that's just the hardest part is getting good contractors. So I called him out. So he came in, removed all the stuff out of the house, get rid of the carport and just everything. And he walked around and, knew what all needed to be done and everything. So we started off with that, getting everything removed from the house. And also he wanted me to do where they come out and run a camera through your sewer lateral line. And so I had a guy come out and do that. So he came out, ran a little camera down through there, and so he said it has a crack in it, and that I may need to get it replaced. And so the general contractor was like, yeah, we probably have to dig up your yard, dig up the basement. And I'm like, I don't want that done. So I talked to my husband and my son about it, and my husband's like, sewer lateral is not like a maintenance thing. You only really go and fix it when it's broke, it's collapsed. And I was like, okay. So I didn't get that done. And I didn't end up going with that general contractor because he was taking too long to give me bids and he just wasn't consistent. So I didn't end up going with him. I ended up calling another young man that I had met at doing tours of homes with the land bank. And so I remember him, and I called him, and before that I had called him before, I asked him about a plumber, and he gave me a number of a plumber. And so now I had reached out to that plumber in the process too of getting a bid, and he came over and gave me a bid. So I was going to go with that plumber. I have my own electrician. He's been with me since my first property. And I just truly love him. He's great. He's the best. He's family to me now. So he came over and gave me a bid about the electrical work. So he's good. I trust everything he does. He's awesome. And so now I have this general contractor come over, the young man. So he came over with his partner. And they walked around, looked and everything. They was like, we can do everything. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, we can do everything. We can get started tomorrow. He gave me a bid on the roof. And so I did end up going with them. They were great. They showed up. He was consistent and everything. So in the course with the plumber. And so the plumber that he referred, he found out that I was working with him. And then he was like, I can't do your job. I can't work with that guy. And so I asked him, I was like, what happened? What's going on? He said he no longer worked with the guy. He said he paid the guy and he didn't finish the job. He left. He just took the money and he didn't finish the job. I was like, oh no, I'm not using him. I didn't use him. Now my contractor that I'm using now knew a plumber. So he said, I know another guy. So he came over and everything, and he seemed nice and cool. The only thing that I didn't like, once again, they want to dig up my basement, and I don't understand why. He tried to tell me that there was no drain in the basement and that he was going to have to do some drilling. I'm like, no, there has to be a drain in the basement. So I went over there and looked, found a drain. I don't know how he missed it. So I sent it to my contractor. I said, there is a drain in the basement. He said, oh, send me the picture. So I sent him the picture and everything. So needless to say, no digging up my basement. I don't understand why. It has to be about money. So anyway, the plumber was cool. He did everything. So the whole crew was very good. The whole process went smoothly with them and everything. There is probably a couple of things I would change in the future with working with them, but I probably will work with them again. But like I said, I just had to fill them out and see. But they were consistent. They showed up. They did the job. They did whatever I asked them to do. They redid some things if I asked them to redo it. They stripped the floors down, the hardwood floors, because it's hardwood floors through the house. And I just didn't like, because there was some part of carpet in the living room part. And when they put up the carpet, and then you could just see stains. So when they sanded down and redid it, like those dark stains were still there. Like I didn't like it. So I just like, no, we're gonna put vinyl, it's luxury vinyl plank on the floor. So they did that for me. And also in the process, I did hire Dale Sweet to do like a quiet title, because I wanted to make sure the title was clear. No one in the family could come back eventually and try to claim the house. So that was done. So everything went good. So all in all, I ended up spending a little over 60 in rehab costs. And so like I said, basically everything needed to be done in the house. I had to redo the kitchen, redo bathrooms, plumbing, new furnace. So yes, it ended up totaling about 60. And I got the house appraised. It appraised for $125. So if I was to sell it now, I would walk away with a profit about 40 grand. So if you include the purchase price of the house, all the work that needed to be done, I would still walk away if I wanted to sell it now with 40 grand. But I am a buy and hold person. I like renting them out. So that is the process I went through. And so right now, my exit strategy, right now I have an interest-only loan on the property. And basically that loan is just to cover the cost that I did, that I had to pay out for rehab. So the interest-only loan was for a year, and it's about up. And now I'm working with a guy to get business credit so I can get out this loan. So right now, that is just my process, is that I am planning on using business credit to pay off that loan and buy more property. And then eventually, if I have to as well, I will get a lender. And so that is my exit strategy and getting out of this property. And so far so good, it's all working out. And yeah, so that is the process. Real estate, I enjoy real estate. I love seeing the before, like doing the work on the property and then seeing the end result of it. I love seeing families walk into it and just be happy, and like it's a nice, clean, well-maintained property. Finding good tenants, y'all, that's another thing. And actually, I have a property manager. I don't deal with tenants. That's just what my property manager does. I am more of the project manager. I like being over the construction, the renovation. I like being over all of that. That's just the process. You got to have a good team for sure. And you got to have an exit strategy if you want to use credit cards. You do not want to have all that debt on your credit cards. So business credit is the way to go, because business credit doesn't show up on your personal. So that's why I like business credit in this process. So it was a learning experience. I'm glad that I got out there and did it. I'm glad that I do have an exit strategy where I'm not afraid of the debt, and that because I know that I have a way of paying it off. So that's what I'm saying too. If you're going to do this, make sure you do your research, your due diligence. Make sure you have an exit strategy if you plan on getting the cash off of your credit cards to buy an investment or invest. Make sure you have a way of paying that money back. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. And yeah, it was a great process. I truly love the home. And I love seeing how it looked before and how it looks now. And I do have a great tenant in there now. Awesome tenant right now. No issues. And it shouldn't be any because they basically have a brand new home. All right. Thanks for watching.